So either crossing the legs in a seated meditative position or sitting back in base position, whatever feels good to you. Lightly closing the eyes, unless you need to keep them opened. And allow your body to come into stillness. And as you're settling into your posture, feeling the base of your body against the floor. Feeling the tailbone, and then following the tailbone upward through the crown of your head, making sure that you're sitting in a nice, tall, upright position, relaxing down through the shoulders and the arms. And as you're settling in, noticing how you feel this afternoon. Scanning from the toes to the ankles, to the knees, to the hips, through the whole torso, up to the neck and shoulders, down the arms, to the hands, and then finally to the head and the face. Yeah, as many connections as you can with body parts as you're checking in. And then shift the attention from the body to the breath. Feeling the gentle movement of the breath within the body. Connecting with this life-giving force as it flows in and out effortlessly. Being fully present with each breath. Using the breath to bring you here in this present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh says that he's a famous Buddhist teacher and author. He says that we are very good at preparing to live, but not very good at living. We know how to sacrifice 10 years for a diploma, and we are willing to work very hard to get a job, a car, a house, and so on. But we have difficulty remembering that we are alive in the present moment, the only moment there is for us to be alive. So, as you know, this is a very common theme in our yoga classes. It's being aware, being thankful, being present in this moment, because everything right now is great. Nothing to worry about in this moment. So stay here as much as you can, and you will see that this moment will turn into the next great moment and the next great moment. And sure, there'll be ups and downs, but it's only that moment. If you are in presence with the moment, you will have truly, I believe, the future of what you're dreaming for or dreaming of. So just take a few deep breaths now. So deepen the breath. So now changing the breath. You're moving from a lower brain center to a higher brain center. When we move from unconscious breathing or deeper breathing, moving from automatic to deeper breathing, mindful breathing. So continue to use that mindful breath, but deepen it so you're bringing in even more oxygen, having more positive benefits from each and every breath. And just take 5 more mindful breaths in this way. With every full deep breath, feeling more peaceful, more centered, calm, and abundant. after that last breath, release control of the breath and shift the attention from the breath. Focusing now at the eyebrow center. Doing your best to visualize a point of light or small candle flame. This awareness is activating our intuition, our center of intuition. So keeping the awareness there as we begin class with 3 ohms. Please take a gentle breath in here. Just feeling the gentle vibrations of Om. And then releasing your posture, bringing one knee in at a time, stretching your legs out. And good to see all of you today. Again, sorry that I didn't have the right class open. I apologize. So sitting with the legs out in front, we're going to just do just a few Pawanmuktasanas, the first series, and then we're moving into some digestive today. And then we've got some regular postures coming back into our practice. So starting with ankle crank, sitting up nice and tall, taking your right knee, bending it, bringing your foot across. So you're grabbing onto your toes of your right foot. The left foot is pointing upward. So straighten out. There you go, Kevin. Good job. Everybody actually made a nice adjustment. Let's go ahead and take 7 rotations in each direction. So, and as you're doing this, really bend your toes back. So get a nice extension through the feet. Sitting up nice and tall, lifting up through the spine, all the way through the crown of the head. Going in the opposite direction, noticing how your ankles feel. Once you get to 7, bringing the knee in, stretching it out, and just noticing the difference from one side to the other. As we continue to work on the awareness. Now we're really looking at this week, or this week and next week, come on to the second side. We'll be looking a little bit more at the pranic body. The pranic body are those energy passageways. It's that, well, in the most gross form, it's that feeling of tingliness, that warmness that you might feel after you do something. And over the next, I don't know how many weeks we have left now, 12 weeks, we'll be talking more about different pranic passageways and how we can manipulate the energy of our body. And we do that by inherently in many of our practices, by starting with the right side. That's our sun side. So we often start there because most of us are sleepy. We're sleep deprived. So knowing that there is a method to that, to starting with the right side. So we're just going to move quickly through these. So we've got knee bending, knee rotation for 5. So we're just going to put these together, starting on the right side. Sitting up again, nice and tall. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest, squeezing in. Inhale, release. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, release. So 3 more like that. So you're working on your core by holding your leg up. And then grab hold and do 5 rotations in each direction. Your foot's relaxed. The movement is primarily in your knee. Bring your knee in, stretch it out, feel through the knee, feel through the hip. Go to the second side, repeat, same thing. Inhale, exhale, bring the knee into the chest. Continue at your own pace. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take attendance so I can see you all so nicely. Liz, Brandon, Pedro, Kevin, Brian. And bringing your knee into your chest. Brandon, I just want to know if you recovered from your event.
No.
You have not. Well, good. I'm glad you're here.
Today is the first day that I'm sharp.
Okay, well, good. You can tell me about it after. All right. So feeling through your knees, through your hips. And then we're going to move right through the hand movements, one right after the other. Hand clenching, wrist bending, and wrist rotation, all for 5. So challenging yourself, sitting up nice and tall. Everybody have their legs out for this, okay? So roll your shoulders into their sockets, bring those arms out, tuck your thumbs in, hand clenching first for 5. Please use your upper back muscles so that your arms do not feel like they're getting heavy. You know that if your arms are getting heavy, you're not using them. Your hands are your arms are hanging off your neck. Move right into wrist bending. Tuck your thumbs in right into the wrist rotations. You can relax your shoulders. And then bring your arms down. All right, so just feel through your body after those simple joint mobility and know that we're gonna move into the second series. So we didn't do these yet this semester. Just so a reminder of the digestive series. So we're doing 1 leg or 2 legs. So some of you already know how to do 2 legs. You feel comfortable, go ahead and do 2 legs. And then we're gonna go into leg lock. And I will talk you through for those that these might be new too. So laying down, again, flip yourself around so I'm not looking up your shorts. And not that I'm intentionally doing that, but you know what I'm saying. And plus, my teacher just told me I've given you all my reasons why we have the heads to the front, and it has to do with acoustics when we're normally together. It has to do with symmetry, has to do with teacher energy that's best received through your head. But my teacher made a really good comment yesterday. She said, we don't talk to people's feet. When we talk to people, we talk to them at their head. So same idea with this. So just so I can see you. All right, so we're starting with, for those of you who would like to do single leg, you'll inhale. Well, let's all start with single, and then we can go to double. So awareness to your abdomen. Left leg is straight unless you know you need it to be bent. Inhale, contract the abdomen, lift that right leg up to the point where you know your knee is not bent. Pause. Inhale and release. Exhale and release. Inhale, lift, using your core. With that right leg, pause. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Feel your abdomen activate. Exhale, lift. 2 more like that. We'll go to the second side. And then we'll try the doubles for those that like to do that. So this is first and foremost, go ahead and rest after those first 5. This is about, it's a digestive movement. It's about activating the ascending colon. But for many of us, it's really about the inflexibility in our hamstring, and it becomes very apparent. So move to the left side, placing the hands down by your sides for extra support. Inhale, let the belly button dive down. bring the left leg up to the highest point where it's not, the knee's not bending. Pause. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Feel the core activate. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Pause. That's where you get that hamstring stretch. And release. 2 more like that. And then once you finish, relax for a moment in Shavasana, feeling now through the left side of the abdomen, feeling the left hip, and of course, feeling that left hamstring. Now, if that was good for you, and you feel like, hey, you know what, I was getting some out of that, and that was a little bit difficult, stick with it. If you like to, you can go to double leg lifts, and that really has a lot less to do with the hamstrings now and all to do with your core. So if you'd like to do that, your hands can be down by your sides, palms down. You can even put them under each butt cheek. And we're gonna lift both legs. So inhale. You're either doing 5 and 5 more individual, or you're gonna do this. Inhale, lift up, pause, and then exhale, lower. Now your breathing you may wanna switch your breathing. You may wanna exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. So it's best to exhale as you lift if you know you have any blood pressure issues, because you're creating a lot of inner thoracic pressure. So you're going to move up to 10 double, or continue with the singles, 5 and 5. There should be no strain. Really challenge yourself not to get into like a momentum thing where you're swinging up and dropping down, trying to control the movement. Good. And once you're finished with 10, just resting for a moment in Shavasana. You don't have to worry about looking. I'll talk you through it. Most of you are very familiar with these practices. And so just feeling through your abdomen, feeling through the hamstrings if you're doing the single leg lifts. Noticing how your body feels after that first digestive movement. And as we move to the second one, moving to leg lock. So starting with the right side, bending the right knee, clasping your hands either below the kneecap or back or on the thigh, depending on your flexibility. This is the starting position. Take a breath in. On the exhalation, pull your knee towards your chest, peel your shoulders off the mat, coming to the point where you know you're not straining your neck. Pause, inhale, release back down. Exhale, knee comes in, shoulders come off the mat. Pause. Inhale, lower. Go ahead and do 8 more like this for a total of 10 on this side. Now remember, we have a tendency to try to get our nose to our knee, and we usually do that by crunching up our shoulders. So relax the shoulders. If there's any strain in the neck, you need to release that strain by bringing the knees, bringing the elbows, what am I talking about? Geez, bringing the shoulders down. And if your neck still really bothers you, keep your head on the mat and just bring your knee in and out. You're still getting the digestive benefits of this without the strain in your neck. Once you've reached 10 or had enough, straighten your right leg up, slowly lower it, and take a moment to feel through the right side of the abdomen, the right hip as well. And then moving to the second side, bending the left knee into your chest, clasping your hands below the knee or behind on your thigh. Take a breath in, exhale, bring the knee to the chest, and then take yourself off your mat. Inhale, lower. That right leg, the extended leg, should be as straight as possible, toes pointing upward. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, release. 8 more on the second side. Good. And this is where we start to recognize our personality. You've heard me say this, those of you who've taken my class before. They've actually heard me say it because I say lots of things that I don't think people hear me say. But this is one I do say a lot because a lot of times we try to push it. We push ourselves physically. We also push situations in our lives past the point where we should have said, you know what? This doesn't feel good. I need to get out of here, or I need to change my approach. So the mat gives you that opportunity to recognize your personality, because our personality is with us all the time. It shows up pretty much everywhere we go. So once you finish 10 on the second side, again, straighten that leg up, get that nice stretch in the hamstring, lower your leg down, feeling through the left side. And then moving into a counter stretch, bending your knees. We're going to move into shoulder pose. That's where it's like a half bridge. So most of you are familiar with the name half bridge. So bending your knees, placing your hands near your feet. If you can easily grab your ankles and your heels aren't coming off the ground, then do that. Otherwise, palms could be flat on the ground. So pressing through your feet, press your hips up. You can bring your shoulder blades in and just for a moment, hold in the up position. And here you may say, boy, my knees really bother me. So you can try turning your toes out. You can take your feet wider. This is not only a back stretch and a chest stretch, it's a quad stretch. And if your knees hurt, that means your quads are tight and maybe you need to adjust your feet. So make any adjustments and just take a few more breaths here and then we'll do a couple dynamically. Hard to breathe deeply, so don't strain. Pressing through the heels. Notice if your heels are off the mat, press your heels down into the ground. On your next exhalation, bring your hips back to the floor. And then let's just move dynamically. So inhale, press the hips up. Pause at the top. Exhale, lower. Press through the heels, inhale, lift. Pause. Exhale, lower. Go ahead and do up to 3 more like this. Hold the last one in the up position for 5 breaths. Feeling the stretch in the quads. This is really, that's where I'm feeling it right now. Big stretch in the quads. Holding the final position for 5 mindful breaths. Breathing into any areas that might feel tight or tense. And after those 5 breaths, releasing your hips down, stretching those legs out, feeling through the front, the back of the body, the quads. And now that we've warmed up that low back, we get to roll over onto our abdomen for Cobra. I'm gonna kind of turn myself around. I think I can be seen better this way. Oh, maybe not. I guess I can do it this way. All right. So, Cobra. Big toes together. Now you have choices. Just so you remember, you have choices. You can do easy Cobra, which is this one. The elbows are underneath the shoulders, okay? And you just move up and down this way, letting the movement be generated in the low back. If you're doing the full Cobra, your hands are here. And you're just coming to that point where you know your pubic bone is on the ground and your elbows are in. If you get here, this is the incorrect position. You want to lower it down a little bit. So put your arms in place if you're doing the easy Cobra, starting with your elbows out to the sides. Otherwise, your hands are underneath your shoulders. Bring your awareness, in either case, to the low back. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, come up. Assist with your hands. Grab the ground, elbows are in. Look up. Pause. Exhale, lower. Inhale, shoulders come down the back. Press up. Look up, unless it hurts your neck. Pause. Exhale, lower. Continue for up to 8 more like that. In the final position, the shoulders are away from the ears, the chest is lifted, the elbows are tight to the sides. Good. Pausing in that final position with those elbows to the side. Notice if your arms are straight, unless you have, some of you may have a really flexible back, but that's usually not the case. Most of us have our shoulders by our ears and we're kind of hunching forward. So once you finish with the last one, do a quick reset. And then by pressing your hips back into Shashangasana, otherwise known as hare, otherwise known as child's pose. And then coming into table pose. So we have the same practice plan for the next 2 weeks. So just know that when we go through this for next week, we are working again, moving into the sun salutation. So we will be doing sun salutation, just not today. So we're going to be doing the cat-cow mountain combo. So that's where your inhale, exhale, mountain pose, inhale, exhale. Okay, so starting in table, spreading your fingertips out, rolling your shoulder blades down and back, engaging the upper back. Take your toes, roll them under. Inhale, arch your back, look up. Exhale, pull your belly button up toward the spine. Continue to exhale, press your hips back to the wall behind you. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, straight back down. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round your back. Continue to exhale, flatten your back. Working on looking like a mountain more than getting your heels down. Inhale onto the toes. Exhale, down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Continue to exhale, flatten your back. Let your head hang. Feel the stretch in the calves and the back of the legs. And continue for 7 more at your own pace. So really paying attention to the energy that's being generated. Paying attention to the energy generated along the spine, energy in the arms, the back of the body as you move through this series of movements, this mini flow of cat-cow mountain, connecting each movement with your breath. When you get to the final mountain pose, hold. Hold for 10 deep breaths. And I mean 10 deep breaths, not just 10 deep full breaths. And just breathing into any tightness, adjusting not your hands, but your feet. Maybe opening them up, bending the knees to the chest, or just hanging on for those 10 deep breaths, letting your head hang so you're not putting any more attention in the neck. And remember, you always have the option to get up and go to a wall and do the same thing against a wall. Once you've reached your 10 breaths, come onto the toes. Exhale back down, press your hips back. Take your hands behind you, give your arms a break. Put your head on the mat. And then from here, moving into Shavasana. Because of time, I'd like to get a good Yoga Nidra in, and we have 17 minutes left of class, approximately, maybe 18 minutes. So please transition into Yoga Nidra, into Shavasana for Yoga Nidra. I know that as we continue to move through the semester, we're going to be upping the ante of these practices. But the first few weeks are just getting you back into your body, starting to have your awareness deepen. You know, for Yoga 1, you were very on the gross level of awareness. It was all about, what am I doing? How do I do this? How do I do this pose? And now you're able to go a little bit deeper, able to notice the effects of the practices. You're able to notice more than once, yeah, I am breathing. Or, hey, this is getting easier. It's a different level. So that's what we do the first few weeks, is just learning what you already know, and then moving from that point forward. So settling into Shavasana. And taking the time to be comfortable. Can't really emphasize this enough, and I think many of you know that now. Comfort is key. And surrendering to the situation. So those of you too, and I just saw someone move their arm and just made me think, you know, if you feel really sleepy, we have the old trick, the arm up trick. So remember that. Ideally, we stay awake during Yoga Nidra. If we need to sleep, we sleep. But in class, you know, try to stay awake. So you put the arm up. So as you start to fall asleep, your arm will kind of fall down. Because you get the most benefit. You still get benefits if you sleep through the entire thing, but just know that the benefits are more profound if you stay awake. So checking to see that you have arranged yourself in a way that's comfortable, symmetrical, where the weight is evenly distributed from one side to the other. And just making those small adjustments. And as the body stills, notice how you feel after today's asana portion of class, and know that we will be, starting next week, we'll be doing more pranayama and as well as seated meditations. But just notice today, we just did the asana and how that felt, and how, or if anything changed from the beginning until now, as we move into the Yoga Nidra practice. And say to yourself mentally, I am now going to practice Yoga Nidra. I will remain awake. I will remain aware. Be aware of the whole physical body, your body's position, and the floor beneath you. Specifically, be aware of the position of your feet, feeling the floor beneath the heels. The position of the legs, feeling the contact points between the legs and the floor. The hips, their position, the contact between the buttocks and the floor. Feel the whole of the back, position of the shoulders, the trunk, feeling the contact between the back and the floor. Position of the arms with the hands turned upward or slightly inward, and feeling where the floor touches the arms. And finally, the head. Making sure that the head is straight, the nose pointing upward, and feeling that contact point between the back of the head and the floor. Take 3 deep breaths in and out, releasing any remaining tension, mental, physical, emotional, and feel the muscles relax more fully into those points of contact. Scan your body now, front and back, and notice anything touching the skin, feeling all sensations against the skin, moving from one to the next. Make a mental picture of the room, visualizing all aspects of the room. And your position within it. Now activate the sense of hearing. And begin to listen for different sounds. Moving from one sound to the next. Listen for the furthest sound away. And then come closer to sounds in the room that you're in the immediate area. And then closer to sounds that might be coming from your own body, whatever they may be. Specifically, come to the sound of the natural breath. So listen to the soft sound of the natural breath as it gently moves in and out without effort, thousands and thousands of times per day. Bringing the full awareness to each breath at this time. Now is the time to remember your sankalpa, your resolve. Please repeat it 3 times mentally with full faith and commitment. If you do not yet have one or need to choose a new one, see what might arise during this period. Beginning with body rotation, bring the awareness to the right side of the body, specifically to the right hand. Right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist. Lower arm, elbow. Upper arm, shoulder, armpit. Right side of the ribs, right side of the waist, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, instep. Sole of the foot, top of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Check the awareness, stay awake, move to the left side. Become aware of the left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of the ribs, left side of the waist, hip, thigh, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel, instep. Sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Check the awareness, go to the top of the head. Top of the head, forehead. Right temple, left temple. Right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow center. Right eye, left eye. Right ear, left ear. Right cheek, left cheek. Bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, upper lip, lower lip, where the lips come together. Right side of the jaw, left side of the jaw, chin, front of the neck. Right collarbone, left collarbone, the hollow between. Right side of the chest, left side of the chest, center of the chest. Upper abdomen, navel, lower abdomen, pelvis. Check the awareness, stay with the practice. Move to the back of the body. Right buttock, left buttock, lower back, middle back, upper back, spine. Right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head. Become aware of the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole right arm, the whole left arm. Become aware of the torso, neck, head. Become aware of both legs together, right and left, the two arms together, torso, neck, head. Become aware of the whole body together, the whole body together, the whole body together. Leaving body rotation, bring the awareness to the breath, specifically to the breath in the nostrils. Begin to follow the breath in the nostrils. And while doing so, notice how the breath flows in the shape of an upside down V or an inverted V. Being aware that as the breath enters the nostrils, it enters separately through both nostrils and comes together right at the eyebrow center. And on the exhalation, how the breath flows from the eyebrow center out each individual nostril. Full focus on the path of the breath moving in and out of the nose in the shape of an inverted V. Inhale, breath moves to the eyebrow center. Exhale, the breath flows from the eyebrow center out each individual nostril. And keeping the awareness fixed on the breath in the nostrils and the path of the breath, begin to count it backward from the number 27 down to the number 1. Begin by breathing in 27 through the nostrils, breathing out 27 from the nostrils. Breathing in 26, breathing out 26, and continuing on down to the number 1. Full connection between your awareness, the breath, the path of the breath, and the count. If the count is in question at any time or lost altogether, begin again at 27. Stay awake, stay aware, stay connected to the count and the breath. Awareness of the breath in the nostrils, counting the breath from 27 down to 1. Now release the count. Relax all efforts of counting the breath in the nostrils. It's time once again to remember your sankalpa. Repeat this short positive statement 3 times with full faith that it will come true someday. Bring the awareness once again to the sounds around you. Actively listening for sounds inside and outside of your room. Listening for different sounds, not following any one sound, but hear a sound, seek out another and another. Mentally picture the space around you, visualizing all the walls, the ceiling, the windows and doors, the furniture, your placement in relation to all of it. Imagine you can hover above the ground, seeing the room in its entirety, as well as your perfectly still body lying on the floor. Seeing the clothing you've chosen, your body's position, making a full connection to where you are in relation to the room. Feel all the meeting points once again between clothing and skin, feeling the texture, the weight against the skin, feeling any sensations, floor in the skin, maybe rug, mat in the skin. Feel the cool air against exposed areas of skin. And finally, draw the awareness to the back of your body, feeling the full weight of your body against the floor and all of your body's contact points. Feeling the heels firmly against the floor, back of the legs and buttocks against the floor. Feeling the whole of the back, both arms, hands, and your head all against the floor. Feel how the body is grounded, stable, still against the floor. And then bring the awareness once again to the breath, connecting to the natural breath, and then beginning to immediately deepen it. So starting to breathe fully and deeply, noticing how movement is being introduced into the stillness, noticing more pronounced movement in the chest and in the abdomen. And as you continue to breathe fully and deeply, also notice how your regular level of alertness and awareness is slowly coming back. Remembering what you did before class, remembering some of the practices we did within the class, but most importantly, where are you going now that this class and specifically this practice are coming to an end? And say to yourself mentally, this practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. You may begin to move your body, moving your hands, moving your feet, slowly releasing your neck by moving your head from one side to the other. Maybe bringing one or both knees into your chest, moving slowly, Don't rush. Making your way over to one side, coming up to a seated position, coming back into a comfortable seated position, where we'll close our class. We'll bookend our class with 3 ohms. Just how we started it. So settling back just for a moment. Might be your last moment of stillness before you go to bed tonight. So just settling into a seated pose. Could be base, it could be cross-legged. The eyes lightly closed or downturned. Notice how you feel after the Yoga Nidra practice, and know that sometimes you have more energy than others immediately following, but you will have a boost in your day. And I encourage you to notice if you have a better night's sleep, because that is something that is a byproduct of Yoga Nidra. Draw your awareness to the eyebrow center, visualizing there a point of light or a small candle flame, and we'll finish class with 3 ohms. Take a gentle breath in here. Bring your hands to your heart. Take one more mindful breath in and out. And then slowly release your posture. And I wish all of you a wonderful rest of the day.